What's up, everybody? So yesterday we went ahead and we applied our Pore 15, and you guys can see here that it's set up really nice. It's been a full 24 hours since this is cured, and it looks awesome for what it is. You can see underneath here on the rockers and stuff just how nice and covered it is. So hopefully this helps protect against the rust, and it doesn't make it come back anymore. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do the next step, which I guess I showed it to you in the previous video, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna spray on some truck bed coating, which I have here. It's the Krylon truck bed coating. I'm gonna use this on the rocker panels. I know we already went ahead, we did the Pore 15 on that, but I just want to take it up to the next level and make sure it's completely protected and use some truck bed lining. And then as far as the wheel wells and stuff go, I want to use some undercoating along with the frame. Now, the only place we can really use that undercoating is on the back here where we just did all this work. So I'm gonna do it up in here and everywhere and like hit the back side of this just to make sure it's all clean and protected along with the frame rails like I said. But the front, we can't really do that as much because it is already all protected by these fender liners. So there shouldn't be any issues there. But yeah, let's go ahead. I think we're gonna start off with the truck bed liner first. So we'll go ahead and get some 320 grit sandpaper and start sanding up on these rocker panels. So now you guys can see we have it all sanded underneath there. All that Pore 15 is now sanded up with the 320 grit sandpaper. So we can go ahead and wax and grease remover, which I have right here. We'll just go and spray it down with some of that. So get that all cleaned off, and then I can set that there. Then we'll go ahead and spray our 2 to 3 coats of truck bed coating. But before we do that, we're gonna need to mask all this off just because I don't want any overspray on anything and just make sure it's clean. Hopefully this truck bed coating holds up nicely. I know that Pore 15 should do pretty well, but like I said, just want to take it to the next step and make sure it's extra protected with the truck bed coating. So let's go ahead and get this degreased and masked off. So now we got our rocker panels all masked off. They're ready to go, as you guys can see here. Let's go ahead and start spraying our truck bed coating on the rocker panels. See how this stuff turns out. So hopefully you guys can see that, but this stuff sprays really nicely. That's just one coat and it's got awesome coverage. So we'll go ahead, we'll let that set and cure. Like I said, it's just one coat, so we have to wait for 20 minutes for that to fully dry, and then we can go ahead and do 2 more coats because it's gonna get 3 coats total. So I'll bring you guys back after the 3 coats are on. So now we have our 3 coats of the truck bed liner on the rocker panels. The stuff sprays really nice. It has a nice finish to it, gives a little bit of a textured feel to it. We're gonna go ahead and let that cure up for now, but as you guys can see there, well, hopefully you guys can see there, but it's sprayed pretty well evenly, and we'll let that cure. But while I have this stuff all masked off, I think I'm gonna go ahead and hit the frame rail too with some undercoating. But let's go ahead and move on to the back end here, which you guys can see here. This inside wheel well isn't too bad. The other side, we got a little bit of overspray, like the primer and stuff in there, so we'll have to clean that up a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this back end jacked up and take the wheels off, and then we'll start cleaning out the wheel wells and get that undercoated. Alright, so now we got it all jacked up, as you guys can see here. we're gonna go ahead and start undercoating this. It's all gonna get cleaned off with some like wax and grease remover and some degreaser. But I think I'm gonna go and pull off this little fender liner piece here on this side just to get back behind this frame rail and stuff. You guys can see there, I already hit all that underneath there, so that's nice and clean. But just gotta try to get back on that frame rail and, like I said, up here in this wheel well. So let's go ahead and start cleaning this. Alright, so we got it all cleaned up. This side really isn't too bad. I'm sure the other side's much worse. But we'll go ahead and undercoat this side and we'll move on to the other side. Alright, so we got this side sprayed. Looks pretty nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the next side now. Alright, so we got our first coat sprayed, so we'll go and wait, come back, and then spray our second coat, and we'll finalize all this. Alright, so now we got our second coat sprayed. It's completely done, so we can go and put the car back down on the ground. This stuff's not too bad. I know this is like the Rust-Oleum brand. Typically I like to use the 3M brand, but it seems to work pretty well. The 3M brand gets a lot better coverage than what this Rust-Oleum does, but for this application I think it works pretty well. I mean, it's not like it's going to be like a perfect vehicle. It's going to be an off-road vehicle, so just whatever coverage helps. So let's go ahead, we'll get the wheels back on and get this thing back on the ground. So there you guys have it. We got the car back on the ground. Everything's all cleaned up. The frame looks awesome. The rockers look good. But like I said, as far as like the undercoating that we used, I usually prefer to use the 3M stuff over the Rust-Oleum just because it sprays a little better, it looks a little bit better, it's thicker, it's a little bit nicer. But for this, it'll work just fine. And I'll go ahead and give you guys one last look inside the wheel wells and stuff, which I don't know if you guys can see anything. It may just be straight black, but that should be good as far as protecting it against any kind of moisture, or if we plan on doing any kind of off-roading. All this stuff is nice and protected. You can see there our frame rails, our rockers. I think they look pretty good. So as far as our next video that we're going to be doing, I'm going to have which will be tomorrow, I have a door handle that we're going to be installing on that driver's side door, which I guess I'll go ahead and show you here, just because it's broke. And it's something that needs to be fixed, and I have it now, so, I mean, you can see there, it's busted out there, so we'll go ahead and replace that in the next video. But otherwise, this thing still needs a few more, I guess, bodywork things to do before we can actually call it good and get into like the fun stuff like the plasti dip and stuff. But this hood, it's aluminum. It's starting to flake and stuff, which I need to figure out what to do with that. If you guys have any ideas on how to fix that, I guess throw it down in the comments. Let me know. My idea so far is just sanding it and priming it, calling it good. I still want to modify this hood in some way just to make it look more aggressive. Maybe some hood vents of some kind. I know I talked about it in the introduction video of this car, so we'll see what happens there. This bumper here still needs to get replaced. I still need to order that piece, so that'll be later on. But otherwise, now that we have everything done on this car as far as maintenance stuff and gotten the rust and stuff all fixed, I figure, which I don't know if we'll continue on with the daily videos or not, besides doing the door handle tomorrow, but I want to do the fender flares, and that's going to be a whole process in itself, so we may be making a series on that. I don't know if we'll continue the daily videos. When we get to that point, I'll let you know. I mean, so far it's, what is this, day 5 or 6? So we'll see. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get our fender flares and stuff, get them test fitted, make sure everything fits, and figure out how to fit them on the car. Like I said, these flares that I basically got aren't designed for this car. They're gonna have to be modified, so we'll see what happens. But otherwise, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.